Welcome, my friends. Thank you for joining us this Monday morning. How was your weekend? Mine was okay, and I hope yours was good as well. Okay, this week on the Esteban Hours Weekend Review, we're gonna get right into uh, business. Um, some of the topics that we have, and before we actually get to the topics, um, let's bring in our co-host, Mr. Jeremy Baker. Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome back.
Thank you. How was your weekend?
uh, Grueling and never ending. I'm
Well,
glad
here we.
tomorrow's a holiday.
Well, that's right. Tomorrow is Independence Day.
That's right.
Uh,
This show's my weekly therapy session. I just get it all out on the show, and then I feel better. And then by the end of the week, I'm all tense again from all the stuff that's happening.
this is going to be an interesting Independence Day because it seems like every year that goes by, more and more people feel less and less independent and free.
I know it really is a shame. We are going in the wrong direction for sure. Oh my goodness, it is so bad right
For
now.
sure. For sure.
I
Okay.
can't believe the laws they're passing right now.
It's incredible. We're going to get into it. Um, let's go over the topics that we're going to discuss. First, on the roster today, Congressman Rep. Adam Schiff. He has been censured. We're going to see exactly why. Why is he being censured? And by who, right? Next, we're going to talk about Trump a little bit, a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. With him, he's the hypocrisy is still flaring everywhere. So we've got a couple of videos where he talks about in the past of enforcing laws on keeping safe classified information. How's that working out for him? We're going to talk about that. And how about inappropriate behavior that he's been expressing lately, or it's popping up in videos in regards to his daughter? Very inappropriate. Very, very, very inappropriate. Next on the roster, we have Costco. They are cracking down on their memberships, sharing memberships, I guess. I don't know why now, but they're adding their name to the many other companies that are cracking down on their membership sharing as well, I guess. Then we have this lady here, Miss Roseanne Barr. She's a doozy. She's really, really something else. I mean, just the things that come out of her mouth is woo, crazy. All right. What about Rudy Giuliani? Rudy Giuliani. Look at this guy. Ooh, look at the dye coming down his head. We will never forget that, would we? Well, the question is, has he flipped, or has he? No, that's the question. Has he flipped against Donald Trump? I mean, he would be smart if he did, and stupid if he didn't. Um, Next on our topics today, we have this gas stove bill. Um, Absolutely ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. But I think Congress passed a bill, and thank God, thanks to them, our gas stoves are safe. We get to keep them, but nobody understands what the problem was from the beginning. But we'll dig into that. And lastly, the doozy. This building right here. What does that look like to you? Yeah, they ended their session this past Friday, June 30th, ruling in certain ways that definitely is there's facts that it is against the majority of Americans, and so we're gonna get into that as well. Okay, so getting back to Mr. Adam Schiff being
Hmm.
censored, what was he censored for?
being mean to Donald Trump.
Right, right.
That's basic. You said a bad word. Like, you talked about our leader the wrong way. That's basically it. He told the truth. He got censured for telling the truth because he was the only one with the guts to stick up for.
Right. Well,
They,
it's been told that he was censured. I think it was last Wednesday over his role of investigating Donald J. Trump. The
yeah,
first in what could be a series of votes seeking to punish those who Republicans have deemed to be the party's enemy. I mean, it's absolutely incredible and ridiculous. This is what leadership is to them. This is what leadership means to them. We're going to punish all the people that have worked against us, that do not believe in what we believe. And that's what the American people want us to do. This is
mm,
what they believe. And I'm like, well, what book are they reading from? You know, last I heard, only maybe 30% of the American people want them to do that. So what happens to the other 70% that obviously does do not, but they're still are doing this? And poor Adam Schiff, he's one out of several that is being demonized by the Republicans, because earlier in the year, didn't they already do something like this to Representative what is her name, Omar? Um,
oh yeah, that was for something different, I believe. Yeah, something that wasn't even. They made a big deal out of something. I forget exactly what it was though.
her
But
and
yeah,
another representative of Congress.
yeah, this just seems to be a trend. Anybody that speaks out, anybody that you know, points out the truth, I don't understand what they're getting at. And I don't understand what their end game is. Like the internet exists. It's so easy to fact check stuff now. And they
I
just
don't
act like
understand
everybody's.
how they don't they like what are they listening to? What are they believing in? The internet exists so they can say things a million times until they're blue in the face. If it's not true, we will find out sooner or later, and more often now sooner, right?
And the problem really lies in we have so many news networks and people on the internet that are dedicated to not telling the truth. And we've seen now that there are a lot of people that don't do their own fact checking. They just listen to whatever. But I mean, it
No, they
used to be you
know
watch
it's
it.
not the truth. They know it's not the truth. So whether they
Right.
publicly do their fact checking or not, they know that it's not the truth of whatever conspiratorial info that they are spreading, and they're
I'm,
spreading it deliberately.
I mean, I watched a video of a guy after the audio came out of Donald Trump, which I still think he leaked, and hopefully I can kind of point that out here in a little bit. If I, or maybe I'm just over, maybe I just see things weird. Um, yeah, he's like, I don't even care what the audio says. We're still gonna, they are gonna support this guy no matter what. So
Well, we
anybody
already
that speaks out against him is evil. Like Bill Barr, who used to be his attorney general, now he's the worst person in the world as far as they're concerned.
right.
Like anybody that says, like if you sneeze in the wrong direction, Trump will disown you and
Yeah, Bill
start
Barr has
talking
been
stuff about you.
added to their list of Republican demons. It's absolutely ridiculous and outrageous. But going back to Adam Schiff, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, was in agreement to this censure, which, by the way, was on a party line vote, 213 to 209, with six Republicans voting present. Six Republicans voting present. I wonder why, because there
Mm.
has been talk in the news that there are a couple of vulnerable Republicans that are feeling kind of iffy in certain ways with what the MAGA Republicans are doing, because they are scared that their seats will be up for grabs, because they're in areas where it could go either way, Democrat or Republican.
And basically, I mean, people need to know. I looked it up. A censure is basically just a giant waste of taxpayer money. They just spent time writing up this big long thing to say that they hate Adam Schiff. That's basically all it was. It's just a ceremonious thing. It doesn't take him out of his office. He does, you know what I mean? They can do all
And
they want, but
it's a form of retribution, just so that they can get on record that something bad has that's no that a Democrat has done something bad, and he was disciplined, or ridiculed, for whatever was done. They just want to get that on record, so that in the future, if someone brings up something that legitimately happened by a Republican, they can just say, well, hey, Adam Schiff was censured too because he did X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's childish, and
I
again,
think his reaction was great. And let me just try and play the
yes,
video
it
here.
was.
Let's hope.
Yes,
I
it
hope it
was.
plays. So here we go.
Republican colleagues who introduced this resolution, I thank you. You honor me with your enmity. You flatter me with this falsehood. You, who are the authors of a big lie about the last election, must condemn the truth tellers, and I stand proudly before you. Your words tell me that I have been effective in the defense of our democracy, and I am grateful. And yet this false and defamatory resolution comes at a considerable cost to the country and to the Congress. At a moment when millions of people in our home state of California are unable to find a place to live or afford a place to live, Speaker McCarthy chooses to occupy the resources of Congress for 2 straight weeks on this hollow sop to the MAGA crowd.
Yeah, so he handled it pretty well.
He did professionally,
Absolutely.
maturely. Yes, he did, and he basically said, "Listen, if this is what, if this is what you believe is your job to do, then so be it. Go on with your bad self," because he did not, as Trump has said, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's the every single one of them. Like even George Santos. I haven't done anything wrong. Okay, who believes that stuff, anyways? You know what I mean? At this point, none of them have confessed to anything except for the ones getting deals from Jack Smith. Everybody else is still like, we didn't do anything wrong.
During this censure in Congress, Democrats erupted in chants of shame, 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 shame. It's like, is this the House of Representatives, or is this your local ballpark?
I know it feels like we're watching a really intense high school electoral debate or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. Like, you said something bad about the guy we want to elect, so we're going to punish you. And just like, it's childish.
Right.
And these people get paid 6 figures to do this stuff.
And as Adam Schiff said, you honor me with your enmity. Yes.
So I like how he handled it. Professionally, he handled it very well.
He did. Okay. Moving on to New York Mayor, Mr. Adams, Mr. Eric Adams. So
we skipping Trump?
My apologies.
How are you going to do that to me? You know I put work into this. We try, just so everybody knows, we do try not to say his name during shows, but man, this guy's all over the place.
It's hard. It's hard, but when it needs to be done, we'll do it. We will say, okay. So in regards to Mr. Trump himself,
this is how you don't handle the situation.
Tell me about it. We only have about 1,000 of those with him, right?
Oh, and they're getting worse. Like, he's running out of stuff to say. And they're just getting worse.
Play the clip where he hypocritically talks about in regards to Hillary Clinton. Talks about how he will enforce all laws in protection of classified information.
Yep, I have a little timeline put together for everybody here.
Sort of got lost in there somewhere. Go ahead.
The protection in my administration. I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things.
Saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know, this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this, on tape,
it says just the opposite.
that you can't
And let me
declassify it,
just
so
tell you,
why have it? is
When
what
I
the question
said,
is.
when I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. Let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look,
I love this part.
this was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
And that's the part that
We
he's
looked at
trying
some-
to
This was him. This wasn't
redo.
done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look.
He said that
Let's see here.
those were just papers. So
No, yeah. Here it goes.
any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at
Here he admits it right here. This is the best part.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Except it is like highly confidential, secret.
He says it. He
It's
literally
secret.
says it. Literally says it's highly confidential and secret information. And now his lawyers are like, no, he was talking about something else. Come on. Does he really have highly confidential and secret newspaper clippings? Like, is that what he does? I don't
You
understand.
know what I feel what he does is every
Hold up.
time there's an evidence on something, whether it's in a newspaper or a recording, a video, I feel he sits there and replays those recordings or videos over and over and over again so he can come up with his lie or excuse on what he can say, how he can change the narrative based on what that recording is about. Oh well, I can spin it this way or I can spin it that way. I feel that's what he does.
Look at the papers underneath his arms. You think honestly, and Donald Trump doesn't read. He doesn't sit down and read. Like they literally, his whole thing in the White House was like, if it's important enough, they'll tell me about it. That's literally how he ran the White House. And they had to keep putting his name in like every other sentence of all
Also,
the
remember
briefings.
he didn't like briefings either. He didn't like to be told what was going on every day, unless if it was an emergency, I guess.
And everybody, there's theories on who leaked it. And honestly, my theory is that Donald Trump leaked it because at the time, I think only he and the Justice Department had it. Jack Smith had just released the transcript version of it, and he actually omitted the stuff. There was stuff in the recording that he didn't actually put out in the transcript. And then, you know what I mean? So, but my theory is in this next video that I'll show, I think Donald Trump leaked it. And in this video, he says he hasn't seen it. But then 2 sentences later, he says, you can hear paper rustling in the background. So he lied about not ever having heard it. And then literally tells on himself like 3 sentences later. So this here's why I think, I'll play it real quick. This is why I think he leaked it.
We did nothing wrong, and everybody knows it.
You're not concerned with your own voice on those recordings.
My voice was fine. What did I say wrong on those recordings? I didn't even see the recording. All I know is I did nothing wrong. We had a lot of papers stacked up. In fact, you could hear the rustle of the paper.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Other than the fake news, which of course is Fox too.
Oh my God.
Are there any other recordings that we should be concerned of?
I don't know of any recordings that you should be concerned
That means
with
yes.
because
Right.
right.
I'm
Until the
translating.
recordings-
I'm
he doesn't
translating.
know of any other recordings until the recordings come out.
But he admits
and
right there that he
according-
has heard it.
According to the news, he was well aware that he was being recorded during
Yeah,
those.
everything was recorded. Yeah, it was his own person, his own aide that was recording it.
If that is not somewhat psychologically deranged, I don't know what is. You are talking about classified information, knowingly being recorded. So you're bragging about these things. So my thing is, when you know you're being recorded, and you're bragging about them, why not stay with that when you get caught? Why, when you get caught, all of a sudden you don't know what anyone's talking about? You didn't do that, but you at one point was bragging about it. So it's okay to brag about it until it's known to the government, and then all of a sudden, no, I didn't do that. It's incredible.
But the old, if he goes to court and goes, I did nothing wrong. Come on, man.
Come on.
There's got to be a better. I mean, he's caught. He's red-handed, and now all this stuff coming about his daughter and him. Oh my God, the stuff he was saying about her, sexualizing her in front of other people. Like, all right, next video.
Inappropriate. Play the video. Inappropriate.
Oh, this is from the Midas Touch Network, and they ran this back in 2020.
I was disgusted as a father with daughters. I was disgusted to hear and learn about this. Go ahead.
And then after this comes out, he goes and speaks at a Moms for Liberty rally in Philadelphia. Tell me we don't live in some kind of dystopian reality all of a sudden. Like, nothing makes sense anymore.
And these are the people.
Oh, it's so weird.
Sorry.
Stop. You know what? You are sick. Yeah.
It makes me very uncomfortable that he would look at certain other Americans the way he apparently has in the past.
What does Tiffany have of Marla's?
She's got Marla's legs.
Creepy.
We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Come on.
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
He's definitely
says
not
that?
a typical father.
Really creepy Trump. OMG.
Who? No, Norm. We should not and then go to speaking in front of a room full of women. Like, how does this happen? How does a man like this get a support from a women's group?
So, and I was going to mention this women's group, or I should just say the conservatives, these Republicans, the MAGA supporters. These are the same folks that fraudulently label the Democrats as pedophiles, but they're following this man that is saying things like that, which is mentally not
There we go.
normal,
We're back.
not normal. And you don't find anything wrong with that, but you're calling people that you have no evidence on. You're calling them pedophiles. It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
It doesn't make sense. Like they always, it's all projection. Like basically everything Donald Trump says is just him admitting he's doing something. You know what I mean? So every time he accuses somebody of doing something, it's basically just him admitting that he does that.
Also,
you know what I mean?
You also know that basically everything that comes out of this man's mouth is a lie. Nothing is true. Even if it seems to be true, nothing comes out, because take into effect what he said in the in regards to enforcing all laws to protect classified information. He told that to his supporters in regards to Hillary Clinton. Right? It sounded,
yeah, that was the whole,
right. It sounded good. I am going to be your president, and I am going to make sure that I stand up to keep classified information a secret where it belongs. It only belongs in the government's hands on top level. What Hillary Clinton did was horrible, bad. She should be prosecuted, lock her up, as they chanted. But now the shoe is on the other foot, to the point that DOJ has already indicted him on dozens and dozens of charges. So it's gone far. It's gone far beyond lock him up. It's gone far beyond he should be brought up on charges. He has been brought up on charges. Where are the Republicans that are saying the same thing? Well, we have to enforce all the laws against in regards to protection of classified documents. Where are they?
and then, I mean, the case is not about politics. The case is Donald Trump did wrong stuff, and then he should be punished accordingly. and he apparently did a lot of wrong stuff.
That's
and
it.
wasn't even most criminals, like their whole point is the most masterminds. The whole point is they run everything in the shadows while everybody else does all the dirty work, and nobody knows about what they do in real life. This guy just breaks the law and then just records it. Why? I don't know. And that's just all evidence. There's just so much.
Something wrong. Again, there's something wrong. Because like you said, how do you record something? Because you're obviously bragging about it, but then when it hits the fence that it could be wrong or bad, then you deny it. So why did you record it? And why did you say it? Something is psychologically not there. Okay. Let's move on.
Yes, let's leave it with that.
Okay.
Not all there is like the nice way to say it. I would have said it a lot.
Nice way to say it, because you could say a couple of curse words, if you really.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's a nightmare.
Mayor Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, he has recently shipped some migrants over to other towns. He's being vilified for doing this because they're saying he's doing exactly the same thing that Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott did. But in actuality, no, it is not the same thing. And again, this shows the difference with Democrats and Republicans of where do as I say, not as I do. So when DeSantis and Abbott did it, you heard nothing from Republicans. You didn't nothing, not even, oh, that wasn't really right, he shouldn't have done that. You didn't hear any of that. But now that it appears that Mayor Adams of New York has done it, they're trying to point out, well, you put down DeSantis and Abbott for doing it, but he's doing it in a more humane way, is he not? He is showing his care and compassion for these migrants, letting them know where they're going. I'm asking them if that's where they would like to go, instead of just lying to them, throwing them on the bus with no money, no food. He's not doing that, which is exactly what DeSantis and Greg Abbott did. What say you?
Well, on the surface, I guess you would think it's the same thing. I mean, they did ship migrants through other parts of the country, but like they even asked them about it, and they kind of sign blinded. You could tell they thought it was going to be this gotcha moment. But I'll play the video of the interview or the whatever he was doing here, and somebody just kind of comes out of nowhere and asks him about
it. A national problem. Actually, it's an international problem. I'm meeting with my mayors from Belgium. My electeds from Belgium, from all over the globe. And this is a national problem that's hitting the globe, migrants shifting because of war-torn areas. I'm not aware of any going to China. I will reach out to the team and find out what the plan, but we have not made it a secret. We are interviewing people when they come, because many of them were forced to come to New York. And we're saying, where's the best place for you that you would like to go?
Right.
So that's the big difference. They actually came up with a plan, paid for these people to go there, had stuff set up for them when they got there, and it was places they actually wanted to go. They didn't just ship them to other parts of the country and drop them off on somebody's doorstep like somebody did.
Where is the best place that you would like to go? I bet you
that's how you treat
that question from DeSantis and Abbott.
But that's how you treat problem. That's how you treat that problem. Okay, you put them where they need to be. If they have family, put them with their family. You know what I'm saying? That's how you treat migrants. That's how a leader would.
It's showing.
And I don't agree with everything he does, but I mean, in this case, I have to agree with how he handled the situation. You know what I mean? This is a good thing.
It's
not a bad thing.
It's showing them respect. It doesn't matter that they're immigrants, that they're not American citizens. It is showing them respect as people, as fellow human beings. That's it. That's it. So kudos to Mayor Adams. He does have a lot on his plate because he is the mayor of the biggest city of America. So he already has a lot of things that he needs to deal with. But he's trying to handle this migration issue as the southern states are throwing them up. He is doing his best to deal with them. So good luck to him as well. Okay. Oh, Costco.
The Costco's not the only one having problems. I've heard Walmart's because of their self-checkout policy now. Basically, everything is self-checkout, and they got a couple people working. Now they're like, "Oh man, so many people are stealing stuff." No shit. What did you expect? They're actually talking about raising prices too. But Costco, oh my god, they're cracking down.
The self-serve aisles are ridiculous. I hate them. You pay all this money and do all the work and have to carry all these bags back, and now they want you to ring up and bag your own bags, but then have the nerve to talk about who's stealing. Really? So you didn't think that somebody was going to try to steal after you told them to pack their own damn bag?
Right? I mean, it's I don't know what they expected there, but that's what happens when you take people out of the equation. But that's
So-
a lot. That's where a lot of companies are going. They're going towards automation. They're going towards, you do it yourself. A lot of places are going that way. Most
So they're
grocery
cracking
stores
down-
now are like that.
They're cracking down on membership sharing. So as I guess not as many people could use a membership. I don't really quite understand that because a membership that costs what, $40-$50, that allows entry into their store, and then makes them be able to spend hundreds of dollars on food that's profiting Costco. So why stop? Why stop that? It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
to me at all.
I'll play the clip. According to Costco, they make most of their money on memberships, not the food. I find that hard to believe with the amount of stuff
Really?
But here, I'll play this real quick.
Down at self-checkout, looking for people who are using other people's membership cards.
Ooh, Business Insider reports that shoppers should expect someone to check your ID. Costco is the world's third largest retail chain. It actually makes most of its profit from membership fees. It made more than $4 billion over the last year alone. Costco says even though it plans to step up enforcement, the rules remain the same. If you're shopping at Costco, you need a membership. The company tells Business Insider it is not planning to raise membership fees just yet.
Just yet. They always like to include that last part.
Well,
that means they're going to raise membership fees.
Yeah.
If they don't get people to rate, if they don't get the people they want, they're going to raise membership fees. That's what's going to happen. If people,
I say good luck to them because people already complain how expensive they are to begin with. And when I say expensive, in other words, I mean, you don't walk out of there any less than a $400 or $500 bill.
Yeah, we don't even have a Costco where I live, bro. For real. That's how small my city is. We haven't got to the Costco level of shopping yet.
And this makes me think of some of the other companies who have done this several months ago. Hulu, Netflix have now started to charge an additional fee or something to have an over a certain amount over of people on your plan, and they've lost thousands of viewers for that.
Well, there's so many different streaming services out there right now. I mean, Netflix isn't doing anything original anymore. You know what I mean? They used to have, a lot of the best original shows. Like some of the original shows that came out was why a lot of people signed up with Netflix. But now, and you used to be able to share your membership. Like I would share it with my daughter or my mother or whatever. Now they don't like that either. So everybody's got to have their own membership.
Right.
Or you have to pay for extra money to have a second person or whatever they're going to do. You know what I mean? They'll have a tiered membership system or something now.
It's stupid. It's ridiculous. But sometimes, you've got to learn the hard way. So maybe they need to lose thousands and millions of customers for them to realize that they had it good. People are staying with Netflix for the moment, but like you said, they haven't really produced anything, any new creativity lately. My Netflix membership, I think, is like $22 a month, and I hardly even use it.
Not that long ago, it used to be like $8 a month.
Yes. Yes.
That was one of the appeals of Netflix. It was like $8 a month to watch all these cool ass movies and shows. But now, yeah. And it's going to keep happening. I mean, because people are trying to find, people are broke. People will always find ways to spend less money. That includes stupid stuff like sharing memberships and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what we do. That's what poor people do. We figure out ways to not pay for shit. It's like our special gift.
Okay. Next on our roster. Oh boy. Miss Roseanne Barr. She's something else. She is really something else. So she is denying that the Holocaust, that no one died in the Holocaust, and that was made up. But she says she's 100% all Jewish. She says that her grandmother lost her family in the Holocaust. So it makes me think, all right, was she joking? Or was it real? Because you can't say nobody died in the Holocaust and then say your grandmother lost her family in the Holocaust, and then goes on to say she's not the right kind of Jew. She says, I'm a Jew. I'm the scary kind. Quote.
I don't even know what that means. She was on a podcast with another comedian, and I mean, I guess it was supposed to be a joke, but I'll play it for you. And like, this doesn't say, I mean, it's some things you just don't say in this.
It's not.
Go ahead.
36 counties have 81 million people in them. See? That's the truth. And don't you dare say anything against it, or you'll be off YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other ones, because we have, there's such a thing as the truth and facts, and we have to stick to it.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
It's scary.
What?
And that is the truth. And nobody died in the Holocaust either.
No.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world.
Well, I don't get that.
If she was joking, it didn't look like, and it didn't sound like a joke.
Hopefully she gets canceled permanently this time. I mean, seriously though, like I told you earlier, this would be like Richard Pryor coming out or Eddie Murphy and being like, slavery never happened. I wish slavery, I'm not even going to say the rest of that joke, but that's exactly like, like just some things you just don't say, and you don't joke about stuff like the Holocaust. And if you're Jewish, you should freaking know that. Like, it's just common sense. So hopefully she was canceled before for saying bigoted stuff. And everybody's got to make a comeback. And I hope this is a reminder of why people don't like Roseanne. She's a horrible person. Her jokes aren't funny. She's a hateful person. And the right wing feeds off of this stuff, even though supposedly she's joking. Just somebody saying those words, they'll replay it over and over again. Oh, look what this Jewish lady said about Jews. You know what I mean? That's like fuel for the fire. And she just doesn't get that. She doesn't have the common sense to understand what she's saying. Can hurt a lot of people and cause a lot of hate amongst other communities, man. It pisses me off when people do stuff like this.
Now the audience could understand, if they hadn't already at this point, why she was fired from the reboot of Roseanne back in 2018. She was fired for some racist comments she had posted on social media at that time. ABC executive had announced that they would continue the show without her, and I guess rightfully so, because look what she's continued to do. And this is just something recent, but she's said some other questionable things in the last couple of years since being fired from the reboot of Roseanne.
Yeah, can we move on from this woman and just let her, go off into obscurity, where hopefully Donald Trump ends up in like a decade or so.
Okay. So moving on, the next on our roster here, is Mr. Rudy Giuliani. Also, another I don't know, just another crazy person. This guy, he has gone around the United States pitching all kinds of conspiratorial theories and lies for Donald Trump. He then tried to help Donald Trump um, 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 undo the 2020 election. And then when that didn't work, he continued to spew lies, even in court, or I should say, even in under different meetings and stuff that he held. And then Trump, how do you say, stiffed him? Okay, he was not paid because he did not succeed in helping Trump steal the election, and so Trump felt that he was not worthy of being paid. Now he is in trouble. Possibly could be indicted. I don't know by who. Maybe the Georgia case or whatnot. But
Yep.
does this mean he's going to flip on Trump? What do you think?
I think so. Here's an article from Vice, and I will go ahead and let me just make sure you can see that. Okay. So up here, former Trump lawyer and walking fall for grace Giuliani has been meeting with federal prosecutors, apparently trying to offer up just enough information about the coup plot to avoid being charged, because he is definitely involved in this, obviously. So he's probably one of the people that would be indicted.
Right.
Giuliani met with the feds voluntarily in what New York Times says was a proffer session, which is basically a session. I had to look this up too. It is a session where he's allowed to incriminate himself and they won't hold it against him. However, I think they call it like the queen for the day. It's something weird where like you can just spew whatever you need to say and they can't charge you for it unless you lie. If you say one single lie, they can charge you, revoke that agreement, and charge you with everything that you said.
Right.
So this is like a serious thing, and most likely what happens before an actual plea deal or immunity agreement. And if they flip and they have immunity, oh my God, forget the documents case. Let's start looking at the Jan 6th and the overturning of the election case.
Right.
That is huge. That's the one I think is going to have like multiple people involved from our government along with people in Georgia. So that's going to be huge. And Rudy Giuliani was involved in all of it. He was on the front line for it all.
He's definitely fallen from grace. He is so far away from being America's favorite mayor.
Right? Yeah. How do you go from being that label to this? Like corruption. I mean, I tell you, money and greed and power is what does it to these people that are corruptible. We pick people because we're picking people on the wrong qualities. I mean, obviously.
A lot of New Yorkers
the result.
Didn't like him even before this anyway. So this is just icing on the cake for New Yorkers. But I digress.
Yeah.
He will get his, just like the former guy is on his way toward getting his.
It's going to be an interesting couple of years, man, until the next election. It
is going to be fire.
It's going to be a nail biter, man.
2020 was bad, or even 2022. Get your seatbelts buckled, sit in straight, because we are going.
Yo, what about the guy? What about the guy they found outside of Obama's? And I'll put on the banner. The guy, 37 years old.
Wasn't he a January 6th participant?
He was actually wanted. He had a arrest warrant out because of the January 6th stuff. Apparently, he blew off something, a court date or something, and they found him. I don't know how exactly far, proximity wise, but he was near Obama's house. Had stuff to make explosives, like they didn't have explosives, but stuff to make explosives, and weapons and 400 rounds of ammunition. Like this is the type of shit that happens when propaganda becomes normal, everyday news.
And again,
I mean, this should not be happening.
And again, nothing coming from the Republicans, nothing. And I'm not saying that they have to be, they've got to be, they got to ridicule them and put them down. I'm just saying, acknowledge right and wrong. Okay. What is this gentleman doing next to Obama's home, or any president's home for that matter? That includes Trump as well. What is this person doing? What is he doing with all of that ammunition? And
could you imagine, man? If you would just imagine for a second if this guy would have went through with it and just shot up a bomb. All he had to do was drive by with an AR-15, which fires as many rounds as you can pull a trigger as fast as you want. You know what I mean? He could have unloaded 100, 200 rounds into there before anybody would have even reacted.
All because of some of these politicians, the things that come out of their mouths, and they don't seem to care that one crazy person could be listening to you and could be jotting down and writing down everything you are saying to go and act on it, because they're not politicians, they're not leaders. Maybe they don't feel that their lives are worthy of something. So it's okay if they go and kill people. It's okay if they go and do something wrong, because it's for the good of our country.
Yeah, they don't say anything about the guns, but our gas stoves are safe. Don't forget about those gas stoves, man.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's so we can definitely hold Republicans accountable for helping to ban gas staves. We are safe. Yay!
Yes.
We are now we are safe. Thank you, Republicans.
Kids are getting killed in school, but no worries. At least you can cook when you get home on your beautiful gas stove. Of course, this hasn't been passed yet. Apparently, it's just been introduced, of course, by Ted Cruz.
Okay.
It's some that shouldn't even be. Nobody was planning on banning the damn gas stoves to begin with. That's the dumb
I don't
part.
even know where the hell it came from. Who the hell?
They made it up.
Said, there's something wrong with your gas stove. It is ludicrous.
But they made it up. That's the worst part. They came up with, Biden said we need to make gas appliances safer. That's it. Regulations, like we've seen what happens when you deregulate. So you want to put regulation in place that actually would save lives. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a real thing. You know what I mean? They got all upset about it. Oh, he's gonna immediately. Oh, he's taking our gas stoves. Then they come up with a bill to protect the gas stoves that were never in danger of being taken away to begin with. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to scream. I want to bash my head off the table.
And this is my opinion. I blame the Democrats. Because as soon as the Republicans came up with that, why weren't more Democrats holding press conferences telling the American people the Republicans have gone crazy? We are not doing anything with your gas stoves. We don't give a damn about the gas stoves. We just want safer regulations. Why the message? Where is the message?
I have an idea. I'll nominate myself. I'll be the first official, I don't know what you want to call it, president of the Common Sense Department. And every time something stupid like this comes out, I'll go on the stage like the press secretary does and be like, that's dumb. Stop it. We're not doing that. Stop it.
And I've seen your videos and your reels. You already do that. So
I know. I need
to hat to you, Mr. President of
the Common Sense Department. Thank you. Somebody's got to do the job. It's a shitty job.
Here is no common sense at all. Okay, and it really spells volumes to the people that are listening to that and taking that in, and then also to the people who know that this is not true, but they're not saying anything about it. So the narrative of the stupid gas stoves continues,
and they act like it's a victory. Yes, we're going to protect our gas. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, people are starving in America right now, and all you're worried about is your goddamn appliances. Sorry.
Okay. We got bigger fish to fry in America, including this story coming up next. Okay, the Supreme Court. All right, they closed out their 2023 session this past Friday, June 30th. Right, they left several important cases for last. Obviously, they did that deliberately so as not so that what happened last year, I guess, wouldn't happen again. But two of the cases or verdicts, I should say, rulings that they came with was, number one, they are doing away with affirmative action. Okay,
God,
so no longer do colleges and high league schools have to consider race into their admissions process, which I think is so wrong, so bad. But it makes sense why this conservative court would do that, right? They have felt for so long that their presence is being questioned, or the whitehood is in jeopardy of going extinct. Now, you as a white man, what do you say?
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Nobody's replacing anybody. We're all just trying to make room for one another, for crying out loud. I hate that. That white replacement theory is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
And
it's, of course, not true at all.
Was created to help balance more of the equality nature, because that's what the Pledge of Allegiance stands for. Justice for all, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're going to live under the, we the people, because I think it was, who was it that pointed out? I think it was Frederick Douglass pointed it out, that it just says we the people. It doesn't say we the white people. It doesn't say we the corporations. It doesn't even say we the privileged few. It doesn't even say we the U.S. citizens. It just says we the people. And if we're going to live by those words, you can't manipulate those words. They're not up for interpretation.
Well,
so we're either going to...
Apparently, according to the Supreme Court, we the people it's only the conservatives, or it's only the evangelicals, or it's only Republicans. We the people is only them, because the way that they are ruling, they are not ruling for the majority of Americans. They are ruling for themselves. I had tweeted on Friday that this past decision is a sacrament totally on the fact that the Supreme Court no longer, or I should say, let me rephrase this, excuse me. The Supreme Court has totally lost all credibility whatsoever, because it is obvious, plain and simple, they are not ruling by the Constitution of America. No. Okay, they are ruling by personal and religious, their own personal and religious beliefs, which is wrong.
They've opened up Pandora's box, is what they've done. Okay, yes, not only. First, let's address the turning down of the student debt relief. That to me pisses me off, because even Republicans and the extremist Republicans who took out, here, look, I'll show you. They took out PPP loans, and their loans were forgiven by the government. And these are the same people that voted against giving college or giving money to people to help them with their college debt. So let me pull up this picture here, and you can see Matt Gaetz took $476,000 in relief funds, gone, wiped off the map, didn't have to pay a penny. Marjorie Taylor Greene, $180,000. Vern Buchanan of Florida, $2.8 million. Kevin Hearn of Oklahoma, $1.7 million. I go down the list. I added this up. You could have given $20,000 a piece to approximately 800 American citizens to help them with their student debt. So instead, a handful of Republican congressmen are apparently way more important than 800 citizens that could have used that money when they're in crippling college debt. I mean, it's almost not. That's why most people don't go to college anymore. It's so expensive. I mean, how do they? And then when you're done, you got all that debt to follow you, and it's like a mortgage. You end up paying back like 3 times. It's such a scam. College loans are right now. You end up paying back 3 times the amount.
I just want Generation Z folks to pay attention, to open their eyes, open their ears, and pay attention to what is happening. A lot of these young folks, they don't care about what's going on in politics. I didn't care what was going on in politics when I was 21 years old. But you need to care more these days because of the shenanigans and the nonsense that's going on in the Supreme Court, in the House of Representatives, and also in the Senate. Even though Democrats are in power in the Senate, there's still shenanigans going on.
Well,
there,
yeah.
like
I guess we forgot to say that gas stove bill was a bipartisan bill. So it was voted for by Democrats as well, or supported by Democrats as well. It wasn't just a Republican thing.
And so we will just add those Democrats who supported it. We'll add them to the list of dumb. Okay.
Waste of time.
Who even have the time to even vote on give me your gas stove or don't give me the gas stove.
The second part of that Supreme Court, though, the LGBTQ one, they have literally made bigotry legal. And
that's the one. That's the one that's going to start a bunch of problems. That's the one.
If you think that's going to stop at LGBTQ, no, you're going to start seeing, we don't stop it, you're going to start seeing whites only signs on restaurants again, and segregation and shit like that. Like I'm telling you, they just. And the case is bullshit to begin with. The woman went to in 2016 when she filed this. She had never even made a wedding website for anybody. So she's like, "Oh my God, what if I have to make a website for a gay couple? That offends me. I'm going to go to court about it." She actually got information from somebody that she's never met, got all his personal information, then made up a fake gay partner, and use these people as an example to win her case. And the guy she used just found out last month that his name is involved. And he's like, I've been married. I'm straight. I've been married for 15 years. I don't know what's going on. The whole case is bullshit, not based in any factual evidence. And it made it to the Supreme Court, and those assholes voted for it. My God, what is wrong with them? Like Clarence Thomas, you should be ashamed of yourself. You have,
well, you know,
they all should.
For years, people have called him a fake black man anyway. So that's no surprise to us. But the problem that I see that this is going to cause is it's going to become a domino effect on what people can discriminate against and what they cannot. In the sense that if it's okay for this woman, based on her religious beliefs, to not serve a gay couple, then it's okay to not serve this religious lady based on her beliefs, because I don't believe in what she believes in. So get out of my restaurant. You're not welcome here. I don't believe
that goes both ways, though. My restaurant would say no MAGA supporters allowed. I mean, that's just mine being, you know what I mean?
Which is wrong. That would be wrong. But under the ruling from the Supreme Court, you should be able to have the right to do that.
That's what I mean. They've opened up, and it's legal precedent. It is legal freaking precedent, meaning that it's going to be referred to.
Totally lost all credibility. It's gone.
They have set back the civil rights and LGBTQ movement, like I said, 70 years at least. We are going to have to go through it again. We're going to have to, maybe I said it before, we need another civil rights movement, and I think this is what's going to start it, because this is attacking the entire thing.
So here's my question to the public. Are you paying attention? I can't stress that too many times. Are you watching what's going on. Last year with abortion, this year with affirmative action, serving the LGBTQ plus community, and what was the other thing the Supreme Court knocked down? Then we're going to
student loans.
The student loans. Now we're going to see what's going to happen in 2024. Is Americans paying attention to this? As you say, like the civil rights protest, when is that going to happen? Because the Supreme Court is not going to stop. Every year they're going to keep etching for closer and closer towards more of their conservative ideas, even though the majority of the country, a big majority, not just by 1-2%, by 20-30% does not believe in conservative ideas and beliefs. Let's talk about what we can do to change this. What do you think?
I think, because right now, I think, like I always say, that the hateful bigots of this country are all united under Donald Trump and his whole bullshit MAGA movement. And that in unity, there is strength. I mean, even if they're just completely insane, they're still all united under a common purpose, I guess you could say. And none of us, the other 75% of the country, is just running around still hating each other because of how we look or who we love or the color of our skin. Like, until the rest of the country gets united under a common purpose, which I think saving our democracy and freedom, because that's all the right is doing right now. They're all they talk about is taking away freedoms. They're not talking about giving us more freedom. Like, there is an actual list of how free countries are on the internet. It's a legitimate list.
And they're not talking about fixing anything either. So they're not fixing any problems that we already have. They're just taking things away. And they're not taking things away on an equal manner, meaning, a little bit on the right, a little bit on the left. They are taking away any and all freedoms that the majority of Americans, which are Democrat and independent and fair-minded Republicans, they're taking the things away that those folks want.
Mm-hmm. And this case will be exploited by racist hate groups like Moms for Liberty. I can almost see it happening now. They're going to jump all over this.
Well, and we will be here to see what they do and what they say and hold them accountable to it. Thank you, Jeremy. Another week in review in the books, and we shall see what this week will bring us. What are your plans for July 4th, which is tomorrow, Independence Day?
Oh, I will probably be working. I don't really go to the fireworks anymore. I might actually go to the fireworks this year. I haven't been in probably 20 years. I can see them from my house. I mean, that's where I live in a city of 35,000 people. So it's like,
and you can do them legally in PA, right?
I live in a heavy Trump supporter area, and Independence Day brings out the crazy Trump supporters. So I don't want to get into a fight downtown or something like that, because I can't tolerate stupidity for only so long. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I might go just for fun. I might go for some video footage.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Tomorrow's will be a normal work day for me for the rest of the week. But I wish everyone a happy, safe, and fun July 4th. Wherever you are in the United States, I hope the weather is good for you. We didn't talk about these heat storms that have been traveling around to some of the states this past weekend. It's been bad.
Right.
Several people in Texas have passed away.
Our mail carrier dropped dead.
Families. Excuse me.
That mail carrier, he was a 66-year-old mail carrier. He dropped dead from doing his route. Just plop.
Yeah.
From the heat.
So our hearts go out to those who have suffered from the heat. But we extend all love and peace to everyone on their day off tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Okay, Jeremy?
All right, man.
So if you don't forget, guys,
Here we go.
you can share the live, and any questions or comments that you have, please leave them for us. No matter what platform you're on, we will get back to you and respond back to you. If you woke up this morning, today is a great day. Okay. If you have any achievements or goals that you've accomplished, don't forget to say to yourself, this is how we